is where MAGA comes to talk, and we're going to start the show in just a minute. And there's some just truly amazing new polls coming out of New York, and that's what we're going to be talking about in the beginning, because could this be the Cuomo miracle? Could be. I mean, it really could be. And I'll be taking your calls. We'll be starting in just a couple minutes here. Hold on. I'm just setting up. Hey, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I'm just finishing setting up, and then we'll get started. Now, if you want to see and hear all the audio and video and images that I show, because I'm going to be going over a lot, you need to go to my mainstream, which I'm going to start in just a moment. I just put the link to my mainstream in the description. So if you catch me there, click that link. It'll take you to the mainstream, which I'm going to start in just a moment. Okay, there we go. It is showtime, people. Here we go. Welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We got some huge new polls out of the New York City mayor's race that I'm going to go over. And, you know, this is really amazing. And I know that the left are always confused, but they're particularly confused about why are all these MAGA people, why are they supporting Cuomo? Well, I'm going to talk about that as the show goes on, but these new polls are absolutely amazing. I'm going to go through them right now. I mean, look at this. Here we have, if the 2025 New York City mayoral election were held today, who would you vote for, provided these were the candidates? Mamdani, Cuomo, Curtis Sliwa. Now, Mamdani is in the lead, but not by much. Mamdani in the latest poll is 43.9, and Cuomo is at 39.4%. Right? So we really just have like three points between them. Really, if you think about it, little more than 3 points. And with the margin of error, Cuomo could even be in the lead, or this could be tied. And then Curtis Lee was screwing things up with 15.5. But we're like 4 points away now, and it used to be double digits. And, you know, and I would say that poll, a lot of the, you know, when you got to understand, when we're talking about New Yorkers that they're polling, we're talking about liberal Democrats, right? So when they're polled, they may be voting for Cuomo, but liberals are afraid to tell the pollster they're not voting for Mamdani because they don't want to be called a racist or Islamophobe. So this poll here could show that Cuomo is in the lead as of now. This is amazing. And I've got some other polls that we're going to talk about. And I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. If you're watching live, you're welcome to call me live on the program. The number is toll-free, 465-2631. Well, when you look at this, 4.5 points, it's within the margin of error. So they could be tied. Cuomo could be ahead. Mamdani could be ahead slightly more than this. But everything for the past week and a half, all the momentum has gone in Cuomo's direction. Now, I want to talk a little bit about, because a lot of liberals are like, why are you MAGA people supporting Cuomo? I don't get it. He's responsible for all this death. Well, that's true. Governor Cuomo is a monster. And I mean, can we even put a number on how many people died because of him? I mean, and he's incompetent. I mean, he's a evil person, Governor Cuomo. He has done terrible things and everything else. However, as crazy as that is, this is literally the lesser of two evils we're talking about here. Mamdani's done nothing in his life. I want you to think about this now. Think about this. The president of the United States, Donald Trump, backed Cuomo today over Mamdani. And MAGA, we've been supporting him too over Mamdani. Zohan hasn't done anything in his life. He has zero accomplishments. He hasn't killed anyone. Cuomo has. He hasn't mismanaged his office and caused destruction. Cuomo has. All that, that's true. But what he would do and represent and start if he became the mayor of New York City is far beyond anything that Cuomo has done with his evil. I mean, I know that sounds nuts, but it's true. The president, and none of us like Cuomo, okay? And all these bad, evil things about him are 100% true, but they're not as bad as what would happen if Mamdani became mayor, okay? And that's a fact, and that's what everyone knows. And I'm here to tell you that, this 4.5 point difference in the polls, Cuomo's ahead in that poll. These liberal Democrats don't want to tell a pollster they're not voting for Mamdani. They don't want to be thought of as a racist or an Islamophobe by the complete stranger that polled them. I'm telling you, that's how these things work. I've been following these things for years and years, and this is how it works. Here's another poll. Look at this one. Cuomo, now this is with Cuomo ahead 8 points. Okay, this is from political polls on X. Cuomo at 45, Mamdani at 37, and Curtis Sliwa with 17 in the back there, messing everything up. But here's a poll that has Cuomo 8 points ahead, above the margin of error. So, let's hope. I mean, as Cuomo wins by a vote, I'll be happy. This is absolutely amazing. So what happened? What's happened here? This is really a race between two Democrats. And what we're having in this general election really is the primary, right? This is really the primary, because in the primary, Cuomo was in the primary as a Democrat. He got whooped, but no one was paying attention. There was an incredibly low voter turnout. No one knew who Zohan was. Cuomo was a lot overconfident because he's a blowhard. And Mamdani got lucky and got his people out and won the primary. This guy's never had mass support in New York City. And about, I guess it was a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, the beginning of the end for Mamdani was when he posted that photograph of himself with the terrorist, the unindicted co-conspirator from the first World Trade Center attack. That was the beginning of the end. And since then, things have moved against him each and every day. In fact, in the last week plus, there hasn't been a single day that there has not been a negative news story towards Mamdani in the direction of Governor Cuomo. Now, let me tell you, those of us that are MAGA, we're supporting Cuomo, who's an evil man. And Cuomo, the reason Cuomo is running for mayor of New York is he thinks this is his launching pad to run for president again. He thought when he was governor, he was going to be the Democrat nominee. His dad always wanted to be the Democrat nominee, never was. And he screwed up, messed up a lot of things, and it didn't happen for him. And he thinks this will be his return to that. Maybe it will be. You know, I could very well see in the next presidential election, in the primary, I could see Cuomo running, Fetterman running. You know, there's no doubt about it. And this would elevate him. But the president and MAGA, we're trying to save our country and our civilization. And having Mamdani as the mayor of New York City would be the beginning of the end. You know, there's the two major cities. There's actually, there's three major cities of Western civilization, two of the most prominent, right? The third one, which is a hanger-on, is Paris. But the two major cities of Western civilization historically have been London and New York City. And Paris is the third wheel there, but London and New York City. London has already fallen. And Mamdani becoming mayor, well, that would be the second one falling. So this is very good news. This is the Atlas poll, which is the one I started with, and they give you just a bar graph. You know, so the trend has been in Cuomo's direction for the last 7 days of the news cycle. And this is great news. I mean, the media, they must be sick. They're having a hard time dealing with it. And here's another one. And this is the New York Post. By the way, if you'd like to call in, if you're watching live, the toll-free number is pinned in the live chat. 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call, no matter where you are tuned in. I want to go through this article here. Let me pull this up in the New York Post. Okay, it's the one I have up here on the screen. Headline: New York Post: Andrew Cuomo would beat Zohan Mamdani in a head-to-head race for New York City mayor, according to the bombshell poll. Independent hopeful Andrew Cuomo would beat Mamdani in a head-to-head race. A bombshell new poll found as Cuomo was in striking distance a day before the general election. The new Atlas Intel survey, which dropped Monday afternoon, that's this afternoon, has Mamdani with 43.9% of support and Cuomo in second with 39.4%. Okay, that's the one I've been going over. Curtis Sliwa remained in third place at 15.5%. The poll, which surveyed over 2,400 voters, comes a day after the same polling outfit had Cuomo trailing by 6 points. So he's gained 1.5 points since their last poll. Just over 2,400 voters were surveyed for the poll that was conducted between Friday and Sunday. Okay, in a hypothetical two-way race, Cuomo beats Mamdani in the poll 49.7 to 44.1. So here we go. I mean, this is really it. Early voting has Dems accounting for just over 73% of the vote. GOP voters at around 11. Independents just under 15. The Dems, but you know, these Dems, they're voting for Cuomo, and there's no way to predict this. You know, with a lot of races, it's easy to predict. And you can see which way the wind's blowing. You know, like when President Trump was running for re-election, the whole campaign, I was 100% confident. I just knew. I could tell. I could see it, right? This one is a difficult one because of all the hype we got. But, you know, one thing you got to understand, the Democrat Party machine is Cuomo. And when this race really first heated up after Mamdani won the nomination and Cuomo decided he was going to run as an independent after he lost the primary, I told you guys this. I said, you know, the Democrat Party machine in New York City, what are they willing to do here? Is the Democrat Party machine, are they willing to give up their control? You know, the Democrat Party machine in New York City has been around for 150 years or more. They have so many crooked deals going on that all revolve around them being in power. So is the Democrat Party machine of New York City going to turn everything over to Mamdani and his Muslim handlers? I don't think so. And it looks like that's what's going on here. On top of the fact, you know, that New Yorkers seem to have woken up. Now, I will say that if Cuomo loses, I blame Curtis Sliwa. And I don't think I'll be alone in that. You know, this guy could be a big hero today. You know, it's a little late, but it's the day before the election. If Curtis Sliwa came out and told people, don't vote for me tomorrow, vote for Andrew Cuomo, and Cuomo won, he would be a savior of the city, Curtis Sliwa. You know, if Mamdani wins, it will be Curtis Sliwa's fault. And Curtis Sliwa, you know, whatever good he did back in the 70s and 80s will be wiped out. And even if he did this tomorrow morning, but if he did it tonight, if he had an emergency press conference tonight, Curtis Sliwa, and said, do not vote for me tomorrow. I'm not even voting for myself. Vote for Andrew Cuomo. There's no path to my victory, and we want to save this city. But he's not doing that, and at least he hasn't yet. And if Mamdani wins, that's who I'm going to blame. And I don't think that I'm going to be alone with that. I think a lot of you will probably be doing the same. All right, I'll take some calls. We got a lot to cover here, but this is all good news. And let's just keep praying, right? I mean, you know, we've got a little more than 24 hours until it's over, and hopefully on Wednesday morning when I wake up to do my show prep, we'll find out that Andrew Cuomo, I know it's hard to believe that us MAGA people are saying this, but hopefully we'll wake up and Andrew Cuomo will be the mayor of New York City. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike, what's up?
You know, it should tell Curtis Sliwa something that Trump seems to be leaning on endorsing Cuomo and not him. It should tell him to get out the race.
That's right.
You know, and that's the thing. Gets out the race, then Cuomo wins and we save New York.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, Cuomo's a monster. That's not a gift. That's a given. He's a monster. Okay, but I'd rather deal with the monster we know than the monster we don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. You're right.
It's literally what, you know, that old saying, you know, the lesser of two evils. This is literally the lesser of two evils.
And look, the Democratic establishment has been in charge since Tammany Hall, you know, up there, since Tammany Hall. So again, do those people who've been in charge that long, you know, want to give their power away to some new guy?
Exactly. All right, hey Mike, I appreciate the call. Yeah, and he's right. Everything he said is right. Now, this is that Sarsour lunatic, and it's coming out that Mamdani, his whole campaign was paid for by CARE, it's being alleged, the Council of American Islamic Relations. And listen to this. Hear that? Wow. I mean, this is pretty scary stuff. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Dan. I'm calling from New York City.
Oh, man. It looks like there's some hope, Dan.
It looks like there's hope, and I just can't believe I'm going to do this, but I'm voting for Andrew Cuomo. It's ridiculous to say, but I think he's our only hope for the city.
I would do it. I mean, you know, it's what I was saying. Yeah. By the way, you're a New York Republican voter, and you know, so you understand that Curtis Sliwa it's hopeless. What I've been trying to explain to people today, here and this morning, we understand that how thousands are probably dead because of Governor Cuomo. And as evil as he is,
right,
he's better than Mamdani because of what Mamdani would do. Yeah.
Agreed. And can I say one thing to your audience? Sliwa is not a fan of Donald Trump. Sliwa, while he is a Republican, while he is a good man in many aspects, he is not a fan of Donald Trump.
Really?
He said some horrible things against him.
Really? Why is that?
That's true.
I don't know too much about his personal... I don't follow him too much. I did when I was a kid, but he's kind of a kook these days. The last mayor's election, he went to vote and he had his little dog in his arms, like a weird... It was strange. Remember? What's his gripe with Trump?
I mean, look, it could be a factor of him simply being in New York and trying to cater to as many people as possible. But he said some, bad things about his immigration policy, bad things about economic policy. He hasn't been a great supporter of our favorite president.
So what's the word on the street about this election?
You could look that up.
I believe you. What's the word on the street with your friends in New York about the election tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm trying to convince as many of my friends to vote for Cuomo. I think the overall attitude is pretty negative, to be honest.
What do you mean? I don't know. What do you mean by negative? That it's impossible to beat Zohan, or that they just hate Cuomo, they can't vote for him? Yeah.
That it's impossible to beat Mamdani. It's
I don't think
it's not looking great. Yeah. I mean, I think we have hope with this latest poll, that's for sure. But I mean, weeks and weeks leading up to it, it hasn't been good news.
Well, what I've been saying all along is that the corrupt Democrat Party machine in New York City, their whole livelihood for their whole families is based on that machine. Are they going to turn the machine over to CARE, to the Muslims? I don't think so.
I hope not. I really hope not. I'm praying for our city. I mean, obviously it's a liberal wasteland in some aspects, but this is the city I grew up in. I care about it a lot, and I don't want it to fall tomorrow to a Muslim communist. I really don't.
That's right. All right. Well, I appreciate the call. Keep us updated. All right. You take care. If you're on hold, stand by. Here's one of the Mamdani supporters. Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me cue it up. Okay. Hold on here. Here we go. Look at this commie. He's got the communist newspaper. He's got a commie shirt on. Oh my goodness! Don't they know that communism has failed? The Soviet Union collapsed. Cuba's a failure. Venezuela's a failure. Don't they know these things? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey Brian, this is Sean from Massachusetts.
Hey Sean, what's up?
Well, I mean, I was, in addition to this money that he's gotten, what we're seeing from where all the money's coming from for Mamdani, I was reading about that George Soros had linked charities that funneled $40 million to support the campaign.
Wow.
And that's insane, too. I mean, just the idea, there's no surprise. I mean, we know George Soros, how evil that man is, too. Yep. And it's no surprise when you're hearing it, but I just shake my head saying, just add it to the top here while we're at it, Mm-hmm. I saw from a Steve Turley video he was talking about that, and I'm like, interesting. Because I know most of his money's coming from, what we were talking about earlier. But, of course, Soros has to put his 2 cents in. No pun intended.
Well, what Soros is, see, I don't view him so much as being political. I think Soros just likes manipulating people in countries and cities and communities. I think it's like his kink is manipulating the world.
Yeah.
I really do.
He's involved all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you really think that we can pull this off for Cuomo?
I don't know. I'm not predicting that Cuomo's going to win. I mean, that'd be nuts. But the momentum has been in his favor. We got these new polls out, and everything has been in his favor. And Mamdani's, I played this clip like every hour this morning. I'll pull it up again. Mamdani said, after I'm done talking with you, I'll play the clip. But Mamdani said that he's worried about he's worried. He's got anxiety about the election, so he's not even confident. He told CNN.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, I mean, him doing all these appearances definitely shows there's a panic. And if there is a mass exodus in New York City, that can only strengthen the red states. And it can only strengthen our base.
We don't want these New Yorkers. We don't want these New Yorkers coming to Florida. We got enough of them.
Well,
hey, listen, I got to run, but I appreciate the call. Yeah, if we didn't have New Yorkers, we wouldn't have blue counties. Let me play this, then I'll break. This was Zohan over the weekend talking to CNN. They caught him on the street. See, you hear that? He's not even predicting that he's going to win. Have you ever seen a candidate 2 days before the election say, "I'm winning. It's going to be me. I'm going to win. We're going to bring it home"? We can't predict the future. You hear that? I'm out here. He's not predicting he can win or he will win. And he said he's out here canvassing just to deal with his anxiety. He's having a panic attack that he's about to lose. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Job for 9 out of California.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing. Thanks so much for covering this topic. Tomorrow's going to be a big day. I just wanted to make mention that real New Yorkers, I don't think, were part of that primary. I think it was a lot of...
there was a low turnout.
Youthful.
Yeah, there was a low turnout. Yeah,
exactly. But I fundamentally think that there's going to be there's so much as far as media attention in regards to this, regarding this race. I think it's going to be a huge turnout. It already is. There's lines that are crazy. But one of the things that I just wanted to mention is that I wish they would have picked somebody different than Cuomo, because even my family members, they absolutely hate Cuomo. And one of the reasons why they absolutely hate him doesn't necessarily have to do with the behavior that was inappropriate with those females. It was the way that he had handled COVID. Because I have family members that ended up dying in hospitals.
Sure.
And they weren't actually able to say goodbye to their family members.
Yeah, he's a monster.
And yeah, they have so much animosity in regards to him that even though Mandani is not a very good candidate, they're having a really difficult time in regards to even voting for Cuomo because of that, because of those feelings.
Well, but then again, Cuomo and his family are in tight with the Democrat Party machine in New York.
I completely understand, but I'm hopeful, and I'm going to keep that hope, because it seems that there's a huge, gigantic surge in that lead that was so huge is actually dissipating before our eyes.
It is, isn't it? It's great.
I think real New Yorkers, authentic New Yorkers, they can tell a line of BS, and everybody is coming up with the same knowledge that there's no way that he can go ahead and say all of these things, because he's not able to do it. He doesn't have the power to do it.
And it's becoming obvious more so. And Saturday Night Live made fun of Mamdani, which is very unusual.
That was really funny.
It was, yeah.
So tomorrow's going to be a big day for California. I'm going to keep the faith that we can go ahead and, have with that proposition no, even though it seems that it's going to end up being a yes. But you want to know something? If anything, our current president has taught us, don't give up. Just do it.
That's
do
right.
what you have to do, and let the chips fall where they may.
Well, listen, I got to run, but I appreciate the call.
Have a great day.
All right, take care. If you're on hold, stand by. My name's Brian. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. We'll take a quick break and come back with more calls and more news. Don't go anywhere. works on every type of pain I've ever heard. Arthritis, bursitis, organ sports injuries, strains and sprains, even the best injuries, post-surgical swelling, neck and back injuries, knee conditions, tinnitus, sciatica, spinal stenosis, fibromyalgia, plantar fasciitis, rotary tears, herniated Remember, appointments are not necessary. Even on Saturdays, there's no injections, no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. Give Dr. Appleton a call. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. We've had listeners travel from all over America to see Dr. Appleton. His laser treatment works. Online, AppletonChiro.com. All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. The number is pinned in the live chat. If you're watching live and want to call in, it's a toll-free call, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name's Tom, and I just wanted to tell you to go fuck yourself.
Okay, I appreciate that. I've been called worse and had worse things said to me. All right, now, these polls we're getting, what's going on in New York, we don't know. I mean, we don't know. But I know this. The momentum has been going against Mamdani, and he's admittedly having an anxiety attack. That's based on their exit polling from the early voting and their internal polling they've been doing. So right now, there's no one knows how this is going to turn out. This is not, as of this, now, Mamdani may win in a landslide. Or he may lose in a landslide. We don't know. No one. This is one of the few races I've covered in all my years of doing this where you didn't really have a clear idea who was going to win. This is neck and neck in a major race. It is neck and neck so far as what we know publicly, and this one really boils down to who gets the most turnout. And that Democrat Party machine, look, Obama didn't endorse Mamdani. Schumer didn't endorse Mamdani. Hakeem Jeffries didn't endorse Mamdani, right? And the governor of New York, Governor Hochul, she's out there criticizing his policy proposals. So the Democrat Party is in a bad state right now. They're losing every which way. They want more than anything a win. My guess is they're not endorsing him, not because of the dangers that he represents as mayor. They've seen the internal Democrat polling, and he's losing in their polling, or it's really close, and none of them want to endorse him and then be a loser on Wednesday. That would be my guess. That doesn't mean he's going to lose, but it means that all these Democrats, they've seen the internal polling, and they don't want to be a loser. They don't see him winning. That's what I would read from it, especially because the Democrat Party needs a win so bad right now to look like they have some sense of support and popularity. Again, if you're on hold, hang in there. I want to go over a couple other things before we go back to the phones. This is a woman who, she made this video, posted it up on social media. She just left her gym. You could tell by looking at her, she's a workout fanatic. And she's traumatized by what she experienced in her gym locker room.
I think the worst experience ever at the gym. I go to the gym, and I think this is probably happening at gyms across America. We're like, trans women are going into the women's locker room and not really caring about how women feel about it. And it's really hurtful, yo. Like, how are you going to say you want to be a woman or that you are a woman, but you don't give a fuck how women feel? So then I was naked in the locker room. I turned around and there's a man there. And boy clothes, lip gloss, sitting there looking at me, I'm butt naked. So the first thing I think is maybe there's a worker in here, maybe I missed the sign. I say the word sir to say, sir, what are you doing in here? Don't talk to me. I'm a woman. I have a right to be in here.
Wow.
Immediately, I'm fucking pissed because I'm butt naked. I feel violated. I feel like weird. Like, I don't want to deal with this, right? So the girls are walking in and they're seeing the commotion and they actually chime in and say, I don't know why he's in here. He's not supposed to be in here. And then I talk to the people that work at Gold and they don't really have anything to do. They just like, oh, we can file a report about it, incident report. What the fuck is going on? Like, listen, how can not giving a fuck about how women feel. I like to think. And I get it, like, everybody has their own things, and I don't want to say that I know everything about gay rights and trans rights. I'm a lesbian. I've been a lesbian my whole life. I treat people I want to treat regardless of whatever their sexual orientation is or whatever they decide. So I'm not transphobic, and I'm not homophobic. I'm not straightphobic. I'm not racist. None of these things. I just believe in treating people I want to be treated. Why do you guys think it's okay for men to be in the women's restroom? And like, when is the cutoff point? Is it like, oh, you cut off the penis, you can come in here? Why aren't women making the laws? And if you really want to fucking be safe and feel good, why don't we just make trans restrooms? Because it ain't right. The way I feel right now. And don't come into my come to like gay independent. I don't give a fuck, bro. It's about a feeling, yo. Like, if you've never been a little girl who's been touched or been you won't understand that feeling. And you've never been a little girl.
Wow. Black lesbian, not happy with the trans people coming in the ladies' locker room. You hear what she said at the end. Wow. So she's been, when she was a little kid, she was assaulted sexually somehow. Something happened. But what's happened here is she's been assaulted again in the locker room at the gym. And that's how she feels. She's dealing with a lot of trauma. And she has been violated, and she has been assaulted. And, with these guys in the locker room, you heard her story. He got in her face and got all, I'm a woman, No. This stuff hopefully is fading away. But I'll tell you, women, men too, you should not be getting naked in your local gym locker rooms. Homeless people live in their cars and stuff, have gym memberships, because you can get gym memberships pretty cheap, and they have a place to shower, take hot showers, and go to the bathroom at a regular, you know what I mean? So the locker rooms at gyms are really a troublesome place. You got the homeless people with the memberships, and you can even tell they're homeless a lot of times. If you go on YouTube and watch videos of, there's a whole sect on YouTube of people that live in vans, RVs, and in their cars, right? And a lot of them have YouTube channels, and they're always going to the gym so they can take a hot shower and go to the bathroom, okay? So that's when you go to a gym, especially as a woman, a young woman, or girls, okay? You go and take a shower at your local gym. You've got the homeless people there, which is dangerous, okay? You've got now this transgender thing, which takes it to a whole new level. I'd like to think that this is fading away from society, and it is to a certain degree because Trump's back. But not really. I mean, it's still out there, and it's still a problem. And it's just wrong. And how many guys aren't even trans, and they're just perverts and are using this as an excuse to be in the locker room with the naked women. And the gyms are afraid to intervene because they don't want to be labeled and attacked by the trans Tifa people. All right, now if you're on hold, hang in there. I want to share this. It seems to me, and I don't know if you guys agree with this or not, but it seems to me that Tucker Carlson is on his way out with MAGA. That Nick Fuentes interview he did last week was incredibly damaging. And I came across a montage that someone put, this is Milk Bar TV, put this on X. And I wanted to share it with you. Listen. Okay, yeah, those are his texts that came public. So is Tucker MAGA? Should we let him in our movement? Should we excommunicate him from our movement? Should he no longer be a speaker at these turning points event? Is he with us? Is he against Trump? And what's he doing by bringing this Nick Fuentes around? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good afternoon, Brian. How are you? It's James from Boca.
Hey, James. What's up?
Well, with all this trans things going on, I've been in places that I've seen men, or basically men dressed up like women, and half of them look scared because they don't know if they really want to do it or not. Like only, 6% of our country is gay or bi, and this just seems to be like blown out of proportion so many times for the last 5 years. And it's just like the black fatigue. I'm getting fatigued on all of this.
Yeah.
And thank God that President Trump won. I can't even imagine where we would be right now. I mean, just hands down, we would.
Yeah, we'd be done. We'd be done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we'd be done. This trans Tifa group that's going around, like this black lesbian who's being terrorized at the gym. I mean, that was going to be the new normal. They were considering us the weirdos.
Well, the extremists. Well, when someone threatens me or my family, I do become extreme. And this is, I don't even let my wife fill. I never really used to. Like, she'd fill it up on her own, but now I don't. I told her, you don't fill up your car. I fill it up for you.
Yeah.
People, it's just so crazy.
No, that's
and I live in about the same neighborhood you do. I mean, it's not bad crime here, but just by watching everything else around you, you always want to watch your back.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
Well, you have a good afternoon.
You too.
I got to get my dog.
Absolutely. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to take a quick break, and we'll come back with more calls and quite a bit more to talk about, too. The number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Back after this. All right, and if you're on hold, hang in there. I want to talk about Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. He was voted the best roofing company in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. You know how many roofers there are in Fort Lauderdale, Florida? Oh, my goodness. We probably have more roofers than we have lawyers in South Florida because Hurricane Alley. So to be voted the best in that industry, it says a lot. And, Tom Laporta is a good MAGA guy. He'll never sell you a roof you do not need, meaning if you need just a simple repair, he will do it. He's also a general contractor. He does more than just roofs, by the way. So if you have any work in the general contracting area that needs done, he can help you with that. But because he's a general contractor, Florida law allows him to deal directly with your insurance company on the cost of the repair or the replacement of your roof, whether it's residential or commercial or municipal. So that speeds things up a lot. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. Give him a call or text. This rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. It is 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Skilled Doc from upstate New York.
Hey, what's up, upstate New York?
I'm a radio guy. I love the radio. It's going to be interesting to see where Curtis lands after he is hated for not dropping out by so many who were big radio fans. I don't know if your listeners know. He's been on the radio up here a long time.
Yeah, he's been on WABC forever. I mean,
and he's really good at it, if I may say so. And he knows New York, the streets.
Well, let me tell you, if Mamdani wins, it's Curtis Lewa's fault. So whatever Mamdani does, Curtis Lee was responsible.
I agree. He should have. If he really loved New York, and there weren't other things going on, which I'm not aware of. My friend said he got a lot of matching funds, and maybe he's making money in some way on this.
I don't know.
Bob Grant.
Oh, the late great Bob Grant.
Mentor.
Yeah,
Bob Grant was Curtis.
Steve Kane took me out to dinner with Bob Grant once. My wife and I went out to dinner with Steve Kane and Bob Grant. Yeah.
And one other thing, Brian, Michael Savage, when he was on WABC in New York, he didn't like, and many times he said he really didn't like Curtis Lewa. Now, I don't know what happened or what he saw.
Jealous. He was jealous.
Well, maybe. Well, let's hope for a miracle.
Michael Savage as a radio personality is highly overrated. He's not that great.
Well, I enjoyed him. So
yeah, he's not that great. He's overrated. Great. I'm not saying he's bad, but he's not that great. Hey, I appreciate the call though. Take care. All right, let's pray for New York. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Bob. I'm calling from Medford.
Okay, what's up, Bob? Yes, Bob. You called me. All right, once, twice. Okay, whatever. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Joe. I'm calling from South Carolina.
Hey, Joe. What's up?
Well, one of the things I have an issue with is a lot of people are like, do you support Trump? No, don't support Trump. I support the president. I'm ex-military. When I took an oath to this country, it was to the president, if it's Joe Biden, AOC, or anything. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. I can have disagreements, but he's elected. He is the president. I made an oath to this country that I would follow the orders of the president, whether I agree with him or not.
What do you disagree with President Trump on?
Oh, not at all. That's the thing. I don't disagree with him, but guess what? Even if I did disagree with him, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so I don't understand the purpose of your call. You're calling in to tell me...
I think the purpose of my call is simply to understand that some of us, military people, we trust democracy. We trust the vote.
Okay, all right, appreciate the call. I don't know what he's trying to achieve. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Thomas. I'm calling from San Francisco. And I'm just wondering if you also like to beat your baby dick to Trump, or at least like I do. Suck a cock, faggot.
Yeah, okay, there you go. There you go. There's your neighborhood Democrat, I tell you. When it comes to elections, and in particular, when it comes, there's a lot of elections that are going on this week around the country, right? Winsome Sears, bunch of them, but everyone is talking about this one. That's how important it is. There's not a single person that follows the news, follows politics, that does not have an opinion on this one. It's that important. It's that important. And not only is it that important, everyone knows what is going on here. And with Mamdani. And I hope and I pray that the people of New York have woken up. I'd like to think that photograph of him, by the way, that photograph with him with the terrorist, unindicted co-conspirator from the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, the Muslim Imam terrorist, right, that was in that picture. The other person in the picture was one of the Central Park Five. Okay? So, yeah. So that photograph was the turning point. And I think people got scared. And I know Mamdani did this ad to the Muslims, right? Foreign language ad, which is unheard of. And then over the weekend, he went to a gay bar to campaign at a gay bar. And he seemed pretty comfortable back there in the DJ booth at the gay bar. I was a little surprised. Were you a little surprised about how comfortable Mamdani was in the gay bar? You know what I wonder? How is that playing in the Muslim vote block? Muslims don't care for the gays. So in this safe voting block of his, that he's done a lot of reaching out to in the last week because he doesn't believe he's polling well, he would not do a foreign language ad like that to the Muslims if he was doing well with the Muslim vote. He's already in trouble. Remember, he came out the other day and apologized for being too in the closet about being a Muslim? Remember that? And then he does the foreign language ad, but then the same time he does the foreign language ad to the Muslims, the Arabic ad, he goes to the gay bar. He is running whoever is running his campaign is running a very destructive, self-destructive campaign. They made a lot of mistakes. However he came up with that BS story about the ant that didn't exist in the hijab after 9/11, and then he admitted that he lied about that story last week. I mean, and it's been all downhill since. Whoever is running his campaign and him, they're just incompetent. Right? And if you're going to hand over the most important city in the world, not just in America, in the world, to someone so incompetent, could you imagine what that's going to do to the city? If you're new to my channel, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe if you are new. And I'm always taking live calls when I'm live streaming from one of my studios. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll be back tomorrow morning, bright and early. And if you're on hold, you'll be first in line on the show in the morning. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk.